Me without any prior knowledge is tempting. It does not reflect reality. It is true that modern tools, such as digital platforms and applications, have simplified many processes, making the path to investing or creating an online business more accessible. However, to achieve significant and sustainable results, it is essential to invest in learning and developing specific skills before taking the first steps. Knowledge is the main asset for those who seek to build passive income effectively. For example, someone interested in investing in the stock market needs to understand basic concepts such as diversification, risk, dividends, and long-term strategies. Without this understanding, it is easy to make mistakes that can lead to significant financial losses, such as investing in companies without solid fundamentals or ignoring the impact of fees and taxes. For those who want to explore online businesses, digital marketing, content management, and customer service skills become indispensable. Creating an online course, for example, goes beyond mastering the subject matter to be taught. It is necessary to understand how to structure the material, how to reach the right audience, and how to maintain student interest over time. Likewise, setting up an online store is not just about listing products for sale. It involves learning about SEO, search engine optimization, digital advertising, and pricing strategies. Even in the case of real estate investments, which many consider intuitive, there is a significant learning curve. Assessing the market, calculating rates of return, understanding rental contracts, and managing tenants are skills that can make the difference between a profitable investment and a loss. The good news is that, for those willing to learn, access to knowledge has never been so democratic. Books, online courses, free tutorials, and specialized communities are available to help beginners acquire the necessary skills. You don't need a degree in finance or marketing to get started, but the willingness to study and apply what you've learned is essential. An investor who understands the fundamentals of the market or an entrepreneur who knows digital promotion tools has a much greater chance of success than someone who acts on instinct or based on superficial information. Investing and learning before you start also helps you avoid common traps, such as falling for promises of getting rich quick or making impulsive choices that can compromise financial resources. Knowledge not only reduces risks, but also increases confidence in making informed decisions, something essential for those who want to build sources of passive income. Therefore, although modern tools make the process more accessible, believing that it is possible to start without knowledge can lead to frustration or underwhelming results. Dedicating time and effort to learning is not only a recommended step, but an essential part of building a solid foundation for financial success. After all, the more prepared you are, the greater your ability to identify opportunities, avoid mistakes, and maximize results in the long term. Myth 7. All paths lead to the same destination. A common misconception about passive income is the notion that any path chosen will lead to the same result. In reality, passive income sources are as diverse as the people who build them. They vary widely in terms of initial requirements, risks, effort levels, and time required to generate significant results. Therefore, choosing the right path depends on a careful analysis of your skills, available resources, risk tolerance, and personal goals. Some forms of passive income, such as financial investments, tend to require a larger initial investment. Investing in dividend-paying stocks, bonds, or real estate funds, for example, can provide relatively predictable returns, but the capital required to generate significant returns can be high. Furthermore, even in these cases, it is essential to have knowledge of the financial market to avoid mistakes that could compromise results. Other options, such as creating an online course, writing a book, or setting up an online store, may require less initial capital, but require more time and effort during the creation and launch phase. These sources of passive income also have an ongoing work component. Updating materials, responding to customer questions, or adapting to changes in platforms and algorithms. Real estate, on the other hand, occupies a middle ground, combining the need for financial investment with the work of management and maintenance. Buying properties to rent out can be a great way to generate passive income, but it involves tasks such as finding reliable tenants, making repairs, and dealing with the bureaucracy associated with ownership. Since each path has its own unique characteristics, it is important to understand that there is no universally best approach. What works for one person may not be the best choice for another. Someone with extensive knowledge of technology may prefer to build an app or explore digital businesses, while someone with an interest in real estate and available capital may choose to invest in that sector. In addition, your personal goals should also guide your choice. If your goal is to build a passive income stream for retirement, long-term investments such as stocks or mutual funds may be ideal. On the other hand, if you are looking for greater financial flexibility in the short term, creating digital products or an online business may be a better fit. as long as you are willing to invest the time and effort upfront. Diversification is also a smart strategy for dealing with the diversity of options. Instead of choosing a single path, you can build multiple sources of passive income, balancing those that offer greater security with those that have the potential for faster growth. For example, you could combine investing in stocks with creating an online course or a monetized blog. This not only increases your chances of success, but also reduces the risks associated with relying on a single source of income. In the end, the key is not to look for the best path, but to identify the one that aligns with your circumstances, skills, and aspirations. Each choice will have its own rewards and challenges, and the important thing is to find a path that is sustainable and motivating for you. After all, success in building passive income is not just about the numbers, but about creating a system that supports the lifestyle and goals you want to achieve. Passive income is a powerful tool for achieving financial freedom, but it requires effort, patience, and well-defined strategies. Don't be fooled by easy promises. Start small, learn continuously, and gradually build a solid foundation. And remember, true freedom comes from careful planning and commitment to your goals. Planning also plays a central role. Before committing to any source of passive income, it is essential to conduct detailed research, assess market conditions, and create a plan that takes into account possible adverse scenarios. Maintaining an emergency fund to cover unforeseen events, for example, is a best practice for dealing with the inevitable ups and downs of any venture. Therefore, when hearing promises of zero risk, it is crucial to maintain a critical and well-informed stance. Accepting that risks exist is the first step to dealing with them proactively. With the right approach, it is possible to significantly reduce negative impacts and increase the chances of success, transforming risk into a controlled opportunity rather than a paralyzing factor. Myth 4: Passive income requires little effort. One of the most common and misguided conceptions about passive income is the idea that it requires less effort than a conventional job. This simplistic view often arises from advertisements that promise easy gains, as if it were possible to create a sustainable source of income with little or no involvement. In reality, building passive income is more like the process of cultivating a garden than finding a magic tree that yields money. It is a work that requires preparation, initial dedication, and constant maintenance. For example, those who buy a property with the aim of generating income through rentals quickly discover that the effort does not end with the signing of the purchase papers. There are a number of ongoing responsibilities, such as finding good tenants, managing contracts, dealing with maintenance and repairs, and even resolving issues such as defaults or conflicts. Even with the help of property management companies, the owner still needs to monitor the performance of the investment, make strategic decisions about rent adjustments, and ensure that the property is competitive in the market. The same logic applies to digital ventures, such as creating an online course or writing a book. The initial phase of these initiatives requires not only time and effort, but also creativity and planning. Writing a book involves research, writing, editing, and building a marketing strategy to reach the right audience. Creating an online course requires even more. It is necessary to plan the content, record and edit videos, develop complementary materials, and choose the appropriate platforms for hosting and selling. Even after the launch, the work continues, whether promoting the material or updating it to maintain its relevance and quality. Virtual businesses, such as online stores, also follow this dynamic. Opening a store on platforms such as Shopify or Etsy may seem simple, but the reality is that there is a constant effort to manage inventory, serve customers, optimize marketing strategies, and keep up with market trends. Additionally, changes in algorithms or platform policies may require regular adjustments to keep the business competitive. Even financial investments, considered one of the most traditional forms of passive income, require a certain degree of involvement. Successful investors dedicate time to studying the markets, monitoring their portfolios, and making strategic decisions based on data. Even seemingly simple investments, such as real estate funds or dividend-paying stocks, require attention to ensure that the assets remain aligned with the investor's financial goals. It is important to demystify the idea that passive income is synonymous with the absence of work. While it can, in many cases, provide greater flexibility and less effort than a traditional job, this does not mean that it is completely devoid of dedication. Passive income is more about building systems that work in the long term, but these systems need to be created, managed, and adjusted over time. The key to success in generating passive income is understanding that initial effort and ongoing maintenance are essential. It takes time, energy, and, in many cases, financial resources to create something sustainable. The reward, however, can be extremely valuable. the possibility of a more predictable cash flow that is less dependent on daily effort, which ultimately gives you more freedom to pursue other opportunities and personal goals. Myth 5. It's a quick path to wealth. The idea that passive income is a magical way to get rich quick is a narrative that, while appealing, is far from reality. This concept is often exploited by scammers and salespeople of empty promises, who offer courses or supposedly foolproof systems to create wealth overnight. However, the true essence of passive income is not instant wealth, but rather the gradual, sustainable, and strategic building of wealth. Think of passive income as a long-term process, similar to building a solid wall, brick by brick. Each action, investment, or small gain represents a carefully placed brick. At first, progress may seem slow, almost imperceptible, but with consistency and patience, the results begin to accumulate, forming a solid financial structure that can last for many years. For example, those who invest in dividend-paying stocks do not see significant results immediately. The initial payments may seem small, especially if the initial investment was modest. However, with the reinvestment of dividends, the so-called snowball effect kicks in. Profits begin to generate more profits, and the growth of the portfolio accelerates over time. This process can take years, but it is proven to be effective in building a solid and stable financial foundation. In the case of online businesses, such as blogs, online stores, or content channels, the beginning is also challenging. It is necessary to dedicate many hours to creating content, optimizing marketing strategies, and attracting a loyal audience. However, when these efforts begin to bear fruit, they can generate consistent returns. But again, success comes from consistent and planned work, not from a stroke of luck or unrealistic promises. Another classic example is the real estate market. Buying and renting out a property may seem like a relatively straightforward way to earn passive income, but building a profitable portfolio in this sector takes time and careful management. It can take years for rental income or property appreciation to cover initial costs and start generating significant profits. In addition, there are ongoing risks and challenges, such as maintenance, taxes, and the possibility of vacancy. The key to building passive income is accepting that the process is slow but rewarding. It requires financial planning, consistency, and, above all, patience. Many of those who achieve success with passive income are those who understand that lasting wealth is not built in haste, but with discipline and a long-term vision. Therefore, when you hear promises of "get rich quick" associated with passive income, it is essential to adopt a critical stance and question the viability of these claims. True wealth, both financial and personal, comes from sustained effort and well-thought-out decisions, not from illusory shortcuts. The reward for consistent work is not only financial stability, but also the peace of mind of knowing that what has been built has solid and sustainable foundations. One of the most persistent myths regarding building passive income is the idea that it depends entirely on luck. This perception often discourages people, leading them to believe that financial success through passive sources is reserved only for those who get lucky and are in the right place at the right time. However, this view is overly simplistic and ignores the crucial role that strategy, planning, and persistence play in the success of any financial venture. While luck can play an initial role, such as finding an unexpected opportunity or investing in a rapidly appreciating asset, it will never be the primary, sustainable factor in achieving consistent results. True success in building passive income comes from making informed decisions, studying the market, and applying sound strategies over time. For example, investors who thrive on real estate appreciation aren't just counting on luck to magically make prices rise. They research the market, choose strategic locations, and analyze trends like urban growth or the arrival of new services and infrastructure. Additionally, even after purchasing a property, they need to manage it, maintain it, and often adapt it to the needs of their tenants to ensure a consistent income stream. The same principle applies to the stock market. Many believe that big profits come from a lucky break, such as investing early in a startup that later becomes a global giant. However, the real success of successful investors lies in practicing constant analysis, understanding the fundamentals of companies, and taking a long-term view. They diversify their portfolios to mitigate risk, monitor company performance, and adjust their strategies as needed. It is meticulous, informed decisions that create true success, not just luck. Another example can be seen in the case of content creators who build passive income streams through blogs, YouTube channels, or course sales. Some may think that viral growth is purely a stroke of luck, but in practice, creators who achieve lasting success work tirelessly to understand their audience, produce quality content, and apply effective digital marketing techniques. They experiment with different approaches, learn from their mistakes, and continually adjust their strategies. What looks like luck from the outside is actually the result of hard work and consistency. In addition, it is important to remember that luck, in and of itself, is volatile and unpredictable. A person who relies solely on strokes of luck is unlikely to achieve the financial stability they desire. In contrast, those who build their passive income streams with planning and smart decisions are more likely to achieve lasting success because they are creating a system that works regardless of random events. While luck may open doors for you initially, it is the combination of strategy, consistency, and well-thought-out decisions that truly determine success in building passive income. By letting go of the belief that everything depends on luck, people can focus on developing skills, seeking knowledge, and taking concrete actions that increase their chances of success. After all, control over one's financial future has much more to do with conscious choices than with unpredictable factors. Myth 3: There is no risk. The idea that there is a source of income that is completely risk-free is a myth that should be viewed with extreme skepticism. In any form of income generation, whether active or passive, there are always uncertainties that can impact results. These risks may vary in intensity, but they are never non-existent. The real challenge is not avoiding risks, but learning to identify, assess and manage them intelligently to minimize negative impacts and maximize the chances of success. In the real estate market, for example, risks are present in many ways. The appreciation of a property may not occur as expected, especially if the location or market conditions change. Economic crises, changes in sector regulations, or even specific issues, such as tenant default or prolonged vacancy periods, can turn an investment that seems safe into a source of loss. In addition, the need for constant maintenance of the property, unexpected repairs, and additional costs, such as taxes or condominium fees, must also be considered as risk factors. In the world of online business, risks are equally significant, although they take different forms. A blog, YouTube channel, or online store can face unexpected challenges, such as changes in search engine or social media algorithms, which can drastically reduce traffic and visibility. Reliance on a single platform, such as Amazon or Google, exposes creators to external decisions that are beyond their control. Hackers, increasing competition, or even changes in consumer behavior can negatively impact results. Financial investments, often seen as a classic way to generate passive income, also carry inherent risks. In the case of stocks, market fluctuations can reduce the value of the portfolio in the short term, while economic crises or poor management decisions by companies can lead to permanent losses. Even fixed-income securities, considered safer, face the risk of inflation eroding real returns or default in more extreme cases. Even creative projects, such as writing a book or developing an online course, involve risk. The effort and time invested may not translate into enough sales to justify the work, either due to lack of public interest or an ineffective marketing strategy. Despite all this, the existence of risks should not be seen as an impediment, but rather as a natural part of any initiative that seeks financial return. The key is to adopt measures to manage these risks effectively. Diversification is one of the most important strategies for diluting the impact of potential losses. In the investment market, this means not putting all your resources into a single asset or sector. In digital ventures, it means exploring multiple channels or platforms to avoid over-reliance on just one. Hello, how are you? To start the week on a high note, let's talk about personal finances. More specifically, about the myths of passive income. But before we start our study, I would like to ask you the following questions. If you stopped working today, for some reason, how many days would you have enough money to survive? Does this number surprise or scare you? Well, moving on. Active income and passive income are fundamental concepts in the world of personal finance and investments, representing two distinct ways of generating money. Understanding the difference between them is essential for those who want to achieve financial stability or even financial independence. Active income is income that requires continuous and direct effort to be obtained. In other words, you exchange time and work for money. A classic example is the salary of a traditional job. A doctor who provides consultations, a lawyer who works on cases, or a teacher who gives classes in person or online are generating active income. The same goes for freelancers and self-employed professionals, such as photographers or graphic designers, who need to complete projects to receive payment. The main characteristic of active income is its dependence on personal effort. If the person does not work, the income ceases. On the other hand, passive income is income that does not require direct and constant participation to be obtained. It is generated from assets that you have previously acquired or developed, and continues to flow with little or no intervention. A common example of passive income is rent received from real estate. A person who buys an apartment and rents it out can count on a regular income, as long as the property is occupied. Another example is stock dividends. Investors who own shares in companies can receive a share of the profits periodically, without having to do anything other than maintain their investments. Royalties from intellectual property, such as books, music, or patents, are also classic forms of passive income. An author who writes a book and publishes it can receive ongoing passive income whenever the book is sold. Although active and passive income are different, both have their advantages and disadvantages. Active income is generally more accessible to most people, since starting a job or being self-employed does not necessarily require a large initial investment. However, it is also more limited, since it depends on the individual's time and work capacity. Passive income often requires a significant initial effort, whether financial, as in the case of investments, or creative, as in the creation of an intellectual product. However, once established, it can provide financial freedom and stability, since it does not depend on the individual's constant effort. Balancing active and passive income is a smart strategy for those seeking a healthy financial life. While active income can serve as a basis for building financial security and investing, passive income can provide long-term stability and even freedom to pursue other personal and professional goals. Focusing now on passive income, Robert Kiyosaki teaches us in his book, Rich Dad Poor Dad, where he shares his lessons from two fathers, that what matters is not how much you earn, but how much you keep, and for how many generations. Many people pursue the concept of passive income as if it were the holy grail of financial freedom. They imagine a life where they can relax on a beach, sipping margaritas, while money magically enters their bank accounts. Sounds like a perfect dream, doesn't it? But the reality is quite different from what most people believe. Although the idea is appealing, the practice of building sustainable passive income sources requires time, effort, and strategy. Did you know that more than 80% of people believe that passive income is the key to financial freedom? The problem is that most of these beliefs are based on myths and unrealistic expectations. Throughout this content, we will unravel the main misconceptions about passive income and present practical strategies to start building real sources of alternative income. So, welcome to the space where you can find inspiration to build the future you want. Myth 1. It takes a lot of money to get started. Perhaps the most limiting myth about creating passive income is the idea that only those with large amounts of money can start this journey. This belief often prevents many people from exploring accessible opportunities that can, over time, generate a consistent income stream. In fact, building passive income is not always linked to a significant financial investment. In many cases, it requires more creativity, initial effort, and strategy than capital itself. For example, creating an ebook is a viable and affordable way to start building a source of passive income. It is not necessary to invest large amounts of money, but rather to dedicate time to producing quality content that appeals to a specific audience. Once published on digital platforms, such as Amazon or other online bookstores, the book can generate revenue every time it is sold, even years after its creation. Another practical alternative is the development of online courses. Today, platforms such as Udemy, Hotmart, or Coursera offer the possibility of creating educational content on almost any topic, from cooking and photography to programming and financial management. The biggest investment in this case is the time needed to plan and record the classes, in addition to the effort to promote the course on social media or other channels. However, once completed and launched, the course can continually attract students, becoming a consistent source of income. For those who want to invest but do not have a lot of initial capital, the stock market offers alternatives such as fractional shares. This format allows investors to buy parts of shares in large companies, starting with significantly lower amounts than would be necessary to acquire a whole share. Over time, the dividends generated by these shares can become an important form of passive income, especially if they are reinvested to increase the portfolio. In addition, the digital age has created opportunities that did not exist in the past. Creating a blog or a YouTube channel, for example, can be done with almost no initial investment. With dedication to generating relevant and attractive content, these platforms can grow and start generating income through advertising, partnerships, and affiliate programs. As in the previous examples, the real investment lies in consistency and creating value for the public, rather than in the need for large sums of money. Therefore, the idea that it takes a lot of money to get started is a myth that can and should be debunked. With access to the right tools, a willingness to learn, and a little creativity, it is possible to take the first steps towards building passive income even with limited resources. The secret is to identify opportunities, Act with perseverance and think long-term, as many of these initiatives may start small, but have the potential to grow exponentially over time. Myth 2. Does it all depend on luck?